Hey y'all, it's the lady with another life lesson. Now listen, I am filming this on my MacBook for the first time, so hopefully I'm trying to beat the sun setting completely. But I wanted to go ahead and get this out. I realized that I had not done a video on red flags while dating in quite a while, and so I wanted to do an update on that topic, right? Before I get into it, if you haven't already, please subscribe, like, comment, all of the things. Please share. We're on the ground floor and I see you. We are inching up and people are joining over into the conversation. So I really appreciate you all being here. Okay, so let's get right into it. Red flags in no particular order. The first one is if they speak negatively about an ex, and specifically someone that they are co-parenting with. That is a red flag. Here's why. That means that they could probably still have some healing to do from that relationship, especially if they supposedly had broken up with the person years ago. Now, I'm not being naive. I know that when you have ongoing interaction with the person in a form of co-parenting, that there could be challenges there that maybe keep the wounds a little tender. However, you still, as a person that is coming into a situation with a person or dating a person that is co-parenting with someone else, you should have an expectation that they have resolved certain issues so that there could be a peaceful coexistence. And when I say peaceful, I mean not just cordial is cool. But if you see that there are times where after interacting with the ex, the person is irritable, frustrated, they may be a little bit more snippy and snappy and aggressive with you because they're annoyed. These are some of the residuals of dealing with someone that has unresolved issues with other people, okay? And haven't been able to really manage getting over those type of things. I'm not saying it's easy, but this is what you should look out for when you are dating someone that is co-parenting with another person, with an ex, okay? Here's another thing, a part two for that particular situation. If they've been talking negatively about the ex, and then during a disagreement with you, they bring up the ex in a comparison way to you, red flag. Red flag. It's a couple of reasons why that is problematic. Number one, instead of being in the moment with you, these kids out here being loud, no worries. Instead of being in the moment with you, they are deflecting back or going back in their mind with previous experiences, which may or may not be legit, okay? Which means that they are now attaching something negative to you that may or may not be a legitimate attachment, okay? If you all are having a disagreement, it should be about what is going on between you two in that moment. If they choose to bring up a past relationship, then that is problematic. And it also can be a manipulation tactic. It, to me, is a hidden below the belt, because they know that you know they have negative feelings about their ex, and now to associate you with the ex in a very direct way during a disagreement, that is a psychological play. They know you don't want to be seen in a negative light by them. And so they're attaching you to someone that you know that they have a negative opinion about. No, it's red flag. It's manipulation. It's not cool. Okay. So if somebody does that, that's kind of a run situation. Number two, they tell white lies. They exaggerate. they make things more or less. They may over exaggerate, or they may downplay something that they shouldn't be downplaying. Um, Now, again, I'm not being a goody two shoe. I think that no one walking the planet has already, they've told some type of lie before, okay? But hopefully that is not something that is a part of their present and an ongoing situation, right? Like when I was apologies, when I was a kid. Yeah, when I was a kid, and I didn't do it often because that was, behind beaten type of material, okay? But I remember probably the last time that I consciously told a straight up lie was maybe in college. As a real grown adult, why do I need to lie? There may be some uncomfortable situations where it may not be comfortable to be fully transparent and tell the truth. But as adults, we typically find the way, especially with integrity, that we just tell the truth. Even if we're trying to get something or get something done, my motto is find a way to get what you need done by still holding on to your integrity, okay? But if you find that they have little lapses in integrity, quote, little lies, then what tends to happen is, if that's how they think, that is crossing into other areas of life as well. So that's a red flag. It's not something to necessarily downplay. I wouldn't say run immediately. See if it's a pattern, and then maybe run. Number 3, if they're pushing emotional intimacy too quickly, that's a red flag. What I mean by that, they are making you all the best of friends, and you've only known each other a couple of months. They say stuff like, I know you better than anybody, and they've only known you a couple of months. That is red flag material. And the reason why is because you always have to be conscious of if there is manipulation going on. Like, if someone is moving you too quickly emotionally and or physically. Now typically we talk about physically because usually that's an issue, okay? People want to get gone and jump into bed with the quickness, okay? But there's something for emotional intimacy. I have personally found as a woman that there's I've had experiences with men talking too quickly about marriage. It's almost like it's bringing your defenses down. It's bringing your defenses down. It has the potential of doing that, making you too comfortable with the person too quickly before you really have gotten to know them. And then next thing you know, after you've brought your defenses down, you've opened yourself up because you're listening to what they're saying to you about, oh, we know each other, we're so close, we can, they're talking the future and marriage and all that kind of stuff. And then as time goes on, if they start switching that up because maybe they were speaking too prematurely, or maybe they had ulterior motives, whatever the case may be, now here you are sitting there after you've just cracked your chest open for them. That's an issue if someone is moving too quickly emotionally, okay? So watch out for that, okay? Number 4, aggressive joking. Now, I don't just mean like, how, people can make little jokes talking about things and, oh gosh, sorry. I mean, I don't know how to silence things on my MacBook like I do on my phone. So my apologies if you're hearing that dinging. When it comes to aggressive joking, I'm talking about when they say things like, Oh yeah, you can beat me up on that later. Oh, I'm going to get you later, or I'm going to beat you down later, okay? And they not talking about a card game or something. They're saying little things that has a undertone of violence to it. Now, this does not mean that they are a person that will put their hands on you, but it can be an indication that they have some pent up anger. It can be an indication of that. That is a red flag. Now, again, let's not get crazy with it. I'm talking about if it is a pattern, okay? This is something that is natural to them and that they just seem to just, when they're joking and they say, oh, you know, oh, wait till I see you, I'm a body slam you, or it. Okay. especially as a woman of a certain age, a lady, that doesn't feel very or sound very loving or very, like, even if we're joking, because I joke, I have a lot of men in my family. I'm not tender like that, okay? I got a little tinge of tomboy in me. However, a man that is, courting me or whatever, it's not very attractive for there to be aggressive joking or a undertone of, like, even joking about some type of violence, or girl, shut up before I slap you in your mouth. And again, they may not be the type to put hands on a woman, but just the fact that that's the way they communicate or a joke or play or whatever, red flag. Because it could mean they have some anger issues, or it could mean that they may be the type. It may be a precursor to them actually being an aggressive, violent person. You don't know when you're first getting to know a person. Okay? All right. Number 5. They're too stuck in their ways, in their way of doing things. They're too stuck in their own mindset that they don't even have space for how you think. They are so stuck in how they typically do things, or even like what they believe should be, the role of a man or the role of a woman, or, whatever, that they can't even think outside that box when necessary. When necessary. If a person is very open about sharing with you everything that they want and how they think a relationship should be, and how that they have a lot of preconceived ideas, which a lot of us do. And I tend to feel like that, especially if you've never been married, you tend to have this kind of fairy tale idea in your mind. I did as well, okay? You had these kind of idealistic, but sometimes just, this is what I want and this is what it should be, type of ideas. And when you have a real person in front of you, some people don't know how to recognize the real person and be open to something that is different than the ideas that they have. And especially if they don't actually ask you what your ideas are. That is a red flag, because that means that they may be a my way or no way type of person. And many people will not directly admit this, but as you continue on getting to know them, then you will see the way that they behave is a their way. It's getting dark. Oh God, I hope this video don't come out too too dark and grainy. Hey, this is real time. This is not the best setup, but I wanted to go ahead and get this done. The other thing with that part is that if they are too stuck in their ways, that means that if you needed to pivot within the relationship for one reason or another, they can't even pivot, because it's supposed to be this way. And again, I have a certain side of me that is Like, yeah, I think there's a certain decorum. I think there's certain ways that things should be done. But I think it's also, if it's too inflexible, then that may be a precursor to how that person would be in a long-term relationship. Okay. And if you are desiring partnership, not someone that just has their way, and they're not able to just even be solution oriented when something is going outside of the way that they think that it should be done, then that is eventually going to be problematic. Okay. All right. And here's the last one. They are very verbal about a certain characteristic that they believe that they have, and they're expressing it unsolicited. Okay, they're very verbal. For instance, if I'm going to use a very basic example, if a woman is constantly saying, "Oh, I know I can cook. I know I can cook. Oh, I know I'm this, I know I'm that. Oh, I know I'm beautiful. Oh, I know I'm a good woman. I know I'm a good woman." Anybody, if a person is constantly verbalizing something, it may be that they're trying to convince themselves, or they know there's issues and they're trying to plant seeds in you to make you really think what it is that they want you to think, as opposed to you really observing what they really are. So if a person says, "Oh, I'm cool, calm, and collected. I'm the coolest person you'll ever meet," and they're constantly saying that, and you ain't even, like, it's not even a topic of conversation, it's not anything like that, just let time go on, because that actually may be an area of struggle. It may actually be an area that is, especially if it's something that is considered positive. Now, if a person is saying that, "Oh, I say all the time, I'm not a naturally patient person." That is something that I work on constantly, is patience. I am giving you a look into that, but you still are not going to know what that means until you actually experience me being impatient. Okay. But if I am telling you, "Oh yeah, I'm the coolest person, I'm the most patient person you'll probably ever meet. Oh yeah, I'm always patient. I'm patient with everybody. I just keep my cool." And you haven't asked me anything, there's no reason for me to bring this up, and I'm constantly bringing up this stuff. And a lot of people do this with this phrase, emotional intelligence. It's such a buzzword now. If a person is constantly saying that they are emotionally intelligent, for example, and they keep saying it and bringing it up no one is even questioning whether they are or not, it might be an area of struggle. They might actually not be. And what is worse is if a person is not that and they know they're not that, or they don't know that they're not. It's almost like you can't even tell them that you actually are not very emotionally intelligent. You're actually not very communicative. Like, there are some people that think because they can speak well that they're great communicators, and that is not true. There are some people that are very articulate that I know that are trash when it comes to interpersonal communication. Red flag. Red flag. Okay? Is there anything else that you all would add to this list? Again, it's been a minute, and I hope that this video comes out good enough for me to post it. I ran out of space on my phone, so that's why I switched to my MacBook. So if it's not, I'll have to just re-record it. Okay. All right. Peace.